the streets are pretty calm. So you realize like there's a lot less people here. Hey guys, welcome to another video about living here in Da Nang, Vietnam. If you watched my last pros and cons, I gave you my experience living here for 1 year, and in today's video I want to give you more insight about the pros and cons of living here after the lockdown. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The first pro for me has to be the fact that we were in lockdown for only 3 weeks, and still to this day Vietnam only had about 380 cases, which all recovered. Now I have to say, at the beginning stages I was able to just enjoy my life and think about doing things that I hadn't done in a long time, like cooking, spending time with my husband, just being home. And in all honesty, it's been really great for us to be free. We've been able to, after that 3 week, we've been able to basically go out and do our regular activities. So we've been really taking that time to enjoy our life to the fullest, because we don't know if this is going to be something that's going to happen forever. So we're definitely taking advantage of that and enjoying our life. So I'm very grateful that Vietnam took actions early so that we can actually enjoy our life here. Another pro about living here in Vietnam that I've noticed actually recently is actually the currency. And what I mean by that is the fact that there is no tax, and also that there are no coins. So I can actually show you some of the money. I have some here. This is 100,000 dong. This is 20,000 dong. This is a 50,000 dong. One thing that I really like about that is that you can actually, when you have money in your hands, you can actually use all of it. So this is something that's been I just realized it lately, and I found that was really interesting, that you actually use all the cash that you have. When you have cash and you buy something and you have coins left over, sometimes you leave them in your car. They're just everywhere in your house. Like when I was moving out, I realized how many coins, pennies that you find like just all over the house, but you don't pay attention to it, but it's money. But the fact that they're like just everywhere and you can't really buy much with it, you don't pay attention to it. But I remember I used to just collect them, and at the end of the year I would just put them in the machine. I don't know if you guys have the machine at your local grocery store where you can just drop your coins and then they'll give you like a little note, and then you can go to the cashier and then it cashes it out as cash. Let me know in the comments if you guys have ever done that. I'm curious actually to find out. But yeah, I used to do that, and that's how I would collect my coins at the end of the day. But I feel like here, if you take money out, you're gonna use it, even if it is like something as small as a 1,000 dong. This is 1,000 dong, which is like almost like nothing in US. Even if you have that, like you can add it up and buy something. So I like that I use all of my cash. This is probably not like related to like post lockdown, but this is something I think it's very interesting that you don't notice. And then the other thing I was talking to my sister about is the fact that when you purchase something, you don't pay any tax. So you don't really realize it anymore when you live here, but we were just talking and it just came up. And I realized, oh, when you purchase something in the US, like whatever, if it says $19.99, like that's without tax, and then you're paying the tax, it's probably like $23 or so on. But you don't realize it when you are buying here. You're like, if it says this cost, that's the full cost. Like if something says it's 90,000 dong and I have 100,000, that's all. I don't have to think like, oh, it's 90,000 plus like tax. I don't know if you guys, I hope that makes sense to you guys, but to me, it was something that's very refreshing. After living here, I'm just thinking that, wow, like I don't have to think about that, or the cash that I have in my hand, I can actually use it instead of having coins or having to like pay tax or so on. So I think it's really cool when you're purchasing something, you purchase the full cost all at once. I think that's really exciting. And the last pro I wanted to mention is the fact that the cost here has really gone down. I know I talked about the cost of living being low already, but post lockdown there was a lot of companies, a lot of apartments, a lot of places basically had to drop their prices because they know a lot of foreigners also left. A lot of people went back home when they were able to travel, and also a lot of people that were staying here lost their jobs. A lot of teachers lost their job. A lot of people also working in Vietnam lost their jobs. So they know they had to decrease the price. They had to decrease the prices, so other places did lower their costs. Now that's not everywhere, but for the places that have, we noticed at the time, you know, they offered free delivery. They offered a lot of like a 30% discount on massages. A lot of places, they just had like really good discounts, and that's obviously to help their business. So I think that was another pro that has happened here. So if you never, you know, experienced going to a hotel, for example, Ralph and I ended up going to a hotel once, and we stayed in a suite. I'll link the video right here. We ended up staying in a beautiful suite just because the price was what you would pay for a regular hotel room. So it was really nice to experience that. So that's one of the positive things that has happened. Okay, so now let's go into the cons. And the first con after the lockdown was the economic effect it had on businesses. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses had to close down during that 3-week period. And this is so devastating to not only the economy, but also to us living here as foreigners, or probably Vietnamese people as well, because there was a shortage of goods. I would say as far as food, everything was available, but the products that you basically were used to purchasing, some things that were probably imported, you could not find. I remember one time I wanted to make, I think it was a moussaka, and I was looking for nutritional yeast, and I could not find it. It was nowhere. One of the most popular shops that I go, Moon Milk, did not have it. I went to like a couple of locations, and it was just impossible to find. So at that time, you realize how much businesses were affected. I think this especially hurt smaller businesses. I know if you go to the night market or the regular market, you'll see the stalls where the businesses are there. Some of those businesses are renting their spaces. So if you see like a lot of them were closed, it's because they were renting the slots. The ones that were still standing are the ones that some of the families actually live upstairs, and then they just have the business downstairs. So that's very common in Vietnam. So companies that, you know, the family lives upstairs and then they have the business downstairs were able to survive. Some that had already bought their stalls were okay, but a lot of small businesses that were just renting could not stay and had to obviously let their employees go. The next con is the impact on tourism. Vietnam tourism actually took a 60% hit in the first 3 months of the year alone, and it has really affected businesses. Actually, if you guys watched my video where Ralph and I went to Hoi An, as we were walking through the streets of the ancient town, and this ancient town in Hoi An is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, so it is very popular for people to visit, and it was completely empty. Like the streets where you could walk through, and this is not something that is usually happening when you go to Hoi An or in general in Vietnam. It's very packed in general. There's a lot of people, but what you will notice is as we're walking through the streets, it's just completely empty. And what I realized even here in Da Nang, when we're walking to certain streets, you'll realize that there's people, but how I would explain it is like Sunday morning when you go out in your neighborhood, at least for me when I was waking up on Sunday morning in the US, you know, the streets are like calm and there's not a lot of people, there's not a lot of activities, and that's what you will see here now. Depending, I know some days are more booming than others, but in general you realize how calm the streets are. There's not that much traffic. You won't see like the commotion that people are talking about in Vietnam. You won't see that much anymore because the streets are pretty calm. So you realize like there's a lot less people here. The tourism has gone down. So there's a lot of cool places that we usually visit that are no longer open. So this has definitely taken a hit. On the expat side, I realized that a lot of shops were still able to be open, which we're very grateful for. Like I said, a lot of the businesses that the people actually live in the house are able to really flourish during this time because we're still able to go and eat there. And we really want to continue supporting those businesses and tourism around Vietnam. So this is something that Ralph and I are thinking about, maybe traveling a little bit more around Vietnam. And to tell you the truth, like we actually were trying to book some stuff, but a lot of the tour activities are actually shut down too. So there's a lot of places that, you know, we want to visit that we just cannot find the guidance that we're looking for. So it is a bit of a change, but I also want to, you know, when I acknowledge that as a whole, I realize that at the same time the pros are better than the cons. But I just wanted to share that with you guys so you guys are aware of how it is right here. But obviously obviously we live in a different time right now, so this is something that we all are going to have to adapt. So I think there's a lot of work that is ahead, but I think that Vietnam is on the right path, and I am very grateful to be here. And as you guys can see, it's not we really are able to go out and do our regular activities. So I'm definitely very, very grateful for Vietnam. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to give you a little bit more pros and cons of what's happening after the lockdown, because I know my last video was more general of my experience from last year. So I wanted to give you that experience for you to see how it is right now. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comment box, and I hope to see you next week. Goodbye.